was a double overtime thriller in this series that has been so tight throughout. You can see just one of the games was decided by more than one goal, and that was a Game 4 win back on Nassau Coliseum by the Islanders. Now, the Islanders win on the road, and this series shifts back to Nassau Coliseum Wednesday with the chance for the Islanders to clinch the series and move on to the second round. And they are going to have lots of fans in the stands. What do you think that will mean for the Islanders?
I think it's everything. I mean, that's a tough loss for the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Islanders are rolling. The goaltender's playing well. There's a lot of great stuff there. But to have the passion of the fans in the building, these guys start at noon outside the hotel where you're staying. And then when you walk into the arena, I don't know, it's like it feels like a 20-minute walk, but it's really only like 2 minutes. They're chanting, they're booing. And then when you get inside, Callie, you know. I mean, we both know. It's intense.
It is. It's a fun place to play. I mean, I used to absolutely love going there as a Ranger and playing in that building. They're so loud. There's craziness going on in the stands, as you can see, smashing beers off their head. But the atmosphere there's nothing like it. It's a great place to play, and the Islanders play very good hockey when they're there. They feed off that energy, so that's a big boost.
Yeah, and I think what's been lost in all of this, with the dominant play on the ice, is the fact that the fans are back in the building, right? We heard Rod Brind'Amour talk about it after Game 1 with the Hurricanes, how it was bigger than hockey to see the passion that the fans had. Let's not forget what everyone's been through for the past 14, 15 months, and to be back, being able to watch your team. I mean, the Islanders went all the way to the Eastern Conference Final just last year, and their fans weren't able to witness it in person because it all happened in a bubble. So it's been so great and redeeming to see fans being able to, let that freak flag fly or whatever. I mean, just enjoy the passion and the fandom that comes with it all. And we certainly can't wait to see it unfold on Wednesday night. When you look at the product on the ice, the Islanders, in my opinion, were lucky to come away with a win last night. The Penguins absolutely dominated play really from the get-go, and somehow Ilya Sorokin stood on his head yet again, and the rest of the Islanders found a way to score enough goals to beat the Penguins. What was the biggest key to you, Callie?
Yeah, just that. I think Ilya Sorokin stood on his head and stole it, right? But if you're the New York Islanders, you just got away with one in the visiting building, and now you're going home, a chance to close out this series. You're thinking we cannot let this series get back to Pittsburgh, because you know what? We probably shouldn't be up in this series right now. And on the flip side of that, Pittsburgh's like, man, we just threw everything we had at them. Now we got to go win one on the island where things are crazy, as we just explained about. A tough building to win in. So you can't underestimate how big of a game that was. Swing game, Game 5, swing game for Ilya Sorokin, and how well he played.
And 50 shots for the Penguins. I mean, so if you're going in there now, you're like, okay, boys, play the same way. Yeah. Same attack. They'll get to them, and that's their confidence coming in. But when you're the Islanders, you're thinking, okay, yeah, right. He stole one for us. This is where we can get better defensively. Let's take care of these details and ride the crowd. And you talked about the crowd, and it's remarkable. It's getting back to normal. And I think you feel the appreciation of the players. I mean, sure. The teams in Canada are talking about it so much because they don't have fans. They envy what's happening. And we're so proud to see the fans back and having a good time. And Nassau Coliseum, Callie, I mean, when we used to play there, it used to give me heartburn to go in there because it's just like, it's just the smell of it, the way the fans are on top of you. It's intimidating.
Yeah.
And so it's a real home ice advantage there. They're going to get more. It's going to be loud. And the way they play, they believe in it. So what a game coming up.
Yeah, the Islanders ended up coming away with a 4 seed in that MassMutual East. The Penguins used a really great run down the stretch to secure the top seed. But really, it's interesting because we think about the Penguins. I mean, you think 3 cups in however many years. They've made the playoffs now 15 straight years. So they are a perennial playoff team. Yet, if you actually look at the numbers, they've struggled in the playoffs the last 3 or 4 years. Going back the last 15 games now, they've lost 12 of 15 playoff games. It's unbelievable to think about it from that perspective. And Sidney Crosby, while some say is still the best player in the game, has been very quiet in the playoffs lately. What do you think he needs to do in order to get going and finally make a difference?
Well, I think other players need to get going to free him up. Take a little pressure off him. He's the focus. And, Malkin, there's something going on. He's not right. There's something wrong with his leg. You don't see the jump that he needs to play with. I know you guys were talking about discipline last night. He didn't end up in the box again. But He's got to be a factor. The defense have to help out, too. We talked about keeping the puck in the zone. There's some choppiness. There's some plays that aren't clean. And when you have the best player in the world, arguably in Sidney Crosby, you've got to keep plays clean and make sure that when there is a chance, a small chance to get him the puck or keep a play alive, it's available to him. Make it available at least to give him a chance to make plays in the offensive zone. That's a key to get him going. He's sick about hearing these numbers, and so are the Pittsburgh, those numbers about losing.
Absolutely. I guess the positive thing for Sidney Crosby, he does other things well, right? He's not a player that you just rely totally on his goal, totally on his points. They need that to win. There's no question. But he's good defensively. He's good on draws, and that's a positive for the Pittsburgh Penguins. But if he doesn't start getting points, they're not going to win this series. He's their guy. He's their horse. This is who they ride is, Sidney Crosby. So unless he gets going, they're going to have an early exit.
All right, well, it might come down to tomorrow night on Long Island. The Pittsburgh Penguins will try to win and force a Game 7 back at home, which would be on Friday.